and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we've got a lot trying to get through tonight, so let's get going. We're going to start with tab number 4, which is code.
Does everyone know me? I met you. Nancy Vance. Hi, I'm Jenny Gidding, the code enforcement officer. I know Mark.
Alex Van Sant.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I'm Stephanie. We met.
Okay, so I'm just gonna flip through
Yep, and then ready?
the lines, and if you have a question, throw your hands up and say, hey, I've got a question. So the first one, wages, 2% increase. Education, training, mileage. There's a $200 increase there, $900. Any questions on that line? Yes, George?
The list of what trainings and how much.
Again, trainings are hard because we can't see next year's trainings.
Yeah, they don't have the training storage of a year in advance. The only one that I know of that's coming up for trainings is the one that's going to be the 2-day one in May. That's the only one I know about. The other ones just pop up. Like this one that I went to today popped up, I think last month, and I registered for it because it was on the new LD231 or something to that effect. So I don't have a list of trainings for you.
It would be helpful to get, so that we know what the cost is per, so whether.
55 to 45, because I'm a member of.
Yeah. So it's 55, 45 for each training you go to?
Yes, as opposed to 85.
Are there
Yeah.
trainings,
No.
are there trainings that are required and those that are optional?
I have to have so many CEUs within a 6-year period, and I can tell you, like, commercial is 15 units. So, you know, to make that up at 2 units a class or 3 units a class, yeah, that's how that goes. And I don't know when they're going to have those, I just don't know.
It's helpful to know that you need 15 minutes and they're going to be.
It's more than that, but I was just giving that as an example. Like I had today, what I went to, it was 2 units towards land use or law. And I think I have to have 6 units for that in total over a period of time while I lose my certification.
Right.
Anything else?
Any other questions for that line? Okay. Mission Square, all that stuff is, hold on, that stuff's non-negotiable, those are all taxes, workers' comp, employment, health insurance, other service fees. $5,700, the price is staying the same as last year. Any questions?
Can you just define what those are and how much per?
Yeah, mapping, GIS, and AvCog.
Yes, so the mapping GIS and AvCog, AvCog is, I didn't have to do so much with the GIS this year. So AvCog has been, I think in that budget now, I have like $1,800 left. The 5,700.
Right, can you explain to them what the mapping is?
The mapping is when we put in the roads to the GIS system, or if we are gonna do like the flooding or that piece. I'm still learning that part. But it is part of your GIS system when you go on to the assessor's page. We kind of both do a little bit of the GIS stuff.
And that portion of AvCog is for your ordinances, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
But that's not the membership fee?
No, that comes out of ours.
Okay.
Any questions on that line? Can we move on? Okay.
As I'm looking at it, it looks like in fiscal year 25, we didn't spend any money. Is that just because?
Probably not.
Fiscal year 25, I was just here. I was hired in October of 2024, so that would be fiscal year 2025. And I still was getting my bearings. And when Steve, when we did it, that's when he told me about AvCog and how we had a membership, because it was like, you guys really should be using AvCog for certain things. And I had a meeting with Erica, And I knew that we had to get the LD 2003 into the ordinances, as well as doing a recodification to get those in. And then there was some ordinances that the planning board had that they wanted to have looked at that was not done, so that was also approved. Okay. If it wasn't, I will say, if it wasn't so much for all the LDs and all the legal language that has to be bumped up, yes, on an average ordinance, or when we get to the point, then we'd be able to do little changes and run them by the attorney to make sure that it's all legal, to have a, a bite to them.
Anybody else? General supplies, $550.
I have a question on the cell phones. How come it's so low? Like $439.
Because some of them, for whatever reason, because we have so many, some lines come in cheaper than others, and hers happened to be on the cheaper end. Yep. Any questions on general supplies? All right, general equipment. No?
Actually, I think I do, but I'm looking at, the budget for this year, and we haven't spent anything from that line.
I'm getting ready to.
Okay.
I'm gonna get rubber boots.
And I think that's a fair point too. I think we need to talk about that for a second, because a lot of times, see these lines, you'll get to the end of the year and you'll say, oh, no, but it's nothing spent. That's because the departments haven't spent anything in case of an emergency situation arising. So they're saving their money until the end, and then they'll go and buy the things that maybe they were intending to do, but they were holding on just in case something big happened. So that's fair.
My supplies, there's some monies that are not into the general supplies. I only have really $180 in there.
Yeah.
Not the 34606. It's just not in there yet.
All right, Mark had already asked about the cell phone, and that was the last page. So,
But I do have one question.
Yep.
Do we have an up-to-date expense report?
nope,
I did some legwork before I came, Mark, to
I
try
have
to.
one. You have one.
Now you realize I'm special. If you want to sit next to me, Mark, I'll share it with you. Or maybe you could ask Rick to share his if you have.
So the board has it, but the budget committee does not.
I got this last night.
because I handed it out at the selectmen's
Select
meeting.
board, we have it. Okay.
Want copies, Nate?
Yeah, we could make copies. Nancy, do you mind if we take copies of yours so they can have it? Okay. Does anybody have any more questions for Jenny?
No.
Okay.
They're all set.
Yeah, do you mind making copies?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. I want to make nine sets. You'll make them, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so let's move on to tab 13, because that's where the assessing stuff is, and Ginny might be able to field a question or two there. All right. Professional services. All right, so is everybody there before I start running off? No. Tab 13. Okay. All right, the first line is legal services, 40,000. Any questions about what we would use that for, or why we need that money there? No,
No, it's not my, that's 13.
it's not your tab 13?
No,
What's your tab
I'm
13?
14, so, okay, I'm good. I found 14 on. We're good.
You good? Okay. The person who put the books together probably couldn't count that day. Which would have been me.
Question, so we currently have a balance of 18,000 in there.
Yes. So that's why I didn't raise that number, because if the ordinance passes to do the yard cleanups that we're hoping to have passed, that will land Ginny in court quite a bit. So that line would potentially go up, but where we haven't expended the whole amount, I figured we were safe to stay where we were for this year anyway, to see how it goes.
So I have a question for the 2025 fiscal year. You spent $57,000 on legal fees. Is that Cory Pitt in that number?
Probably.
I don't know, I can't answer that for you.
Yeah, I would assume so, because there would be nowhere else to take that out of.
Right.
So we did get a reimbursement for 20,000. I think that's what the requirement is.
I would say then if it's in that line, George, that it probably did come from Poyer.
Right. So in fact, we spent less than the 40,000 that was put in there.
George,
Yes.
and that line of 25 on legal fees on there might have been Eastridge too,
Okay,
because we had to get an easement, and that went to the lawyers and everything else. And that was quite a long process.
Thank you, Matt. Anybody else before I turn the page?
The engineering services, do we move that to a different,
with Public Works.
okay,
Yes,
all right.
yeah, it's in Public Works now. All right, the audit, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Organization,
Again, just with the audit, I expected to see an increase.
I was told the price is gonna stay right where it is.
But the price right where it was, I thought we were over budgeted. So give it just a second. Yeah, so I'm not sure where the discrepancy is, but fiscal year 25, we paid $44,000 for auditing services.
So I think you'll find some of that was the auditor helped balance checkbooks and everything else that went above and beyond the audit. So I think you'll probably find that's what was going on with that.
But so we have a current contract with the auditor for fiscal year 26 to audit the books, and it's only at 19,000. Okay.
Yes, because the goal would be to not use the auditor to balance our books. We should be able to do that ourselves. Organization, Flores fees, $4,000. That's tied on to the health insurance.
And again, sorry, the contract fee is for.
Oh, Flores fees. It's the,
Gotcha.
yeah. If I'm going too fast, anybody let me know. General supplies, those are assessing supplies, $300. Do you know, can you elaborate on anything she would get for assessing supplies other than just basic
You know,
office supplies?
not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And plus, one of those assessing cards to put in the file cabinets. Yeah. Assessing services, 27,000. That is the assessor working 3 days a month. She kept the prices the same as it was last year.
So she didn't increase?
No, she did not increase this year. No. No, she said she increased last year, so she wasn't increasing
So was
again.
last year.
Yeah,
She increased last year because she didn't have the assistants upstairs.
correct. So she left it where it is. Software fees, $9,555. She said the price is the same for that, and that is the Vision software she uses for the assessing in the computer, to keep our assessing information in. It's a yearly thing, yeah.
We don't have any upgrades to
Not now, it's the same this year. No, I don't know if it eventually changes. I would imagine there might be upgrades or something eventually, but not this year. It's the price is the same.
In this past year, there was an upgrade
Yeah.
this past year, so.
She had to do it. All right, other services, 3,800, that is mapping charges. That's the other portion of the GIS system, correct? Yes. No questions? That's the last page for that. All right. All right, Jenny, you get cut loose if you'd like to go. Okay. Thank you for staying in case they have questions.
Thank you.
All right, let's go through this. Let's knock out a couple of these small ones. Tab 18, please. General assistance. We'll only be there a second. Everybody all set on tab 18? That's the general assistance tab. We're mandated to have money available for people that come in. 2,000 seems to be adequate. We don't, I won't say we don't have people come in, but we do and they don't seem to qualify. It takes a lot to qualify for assistance, so,
How much do you have in that revenue account right now?
hey, that I don't know.
$1,483.86.
Actually, it's probably different, that's that one, but it's actually a special revenue account that has a lot more money in it than that.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is with general assistance, it does not matter. You can raise $100. It doesn't matter. You have to spend the money no matter what. And you get reimbursed 70%
Correct.
back from the state.
Actually 75 now.
It went up to 75?
Yeah, and they're looking at moving it to 80.
So technically, you could actually zero that out. And when somebody comes in to apply for GA, you have to just do a journal and they come from.
Right, because they have that special revenue account that this is not.
I mean, we can take it right out if that's the case. I just want to verify that we have money sitting in that account.
Yes.
All right.
And let us know, please.
That's all?
And let us know. Let me know.
No. All right, I gotta write that down. All right, I'll look into that. Okay. Let's go to tab 12, boards and committees. First one is selectmen stipends. Those are the same. Planning board stipends. Selectmen cell phones.
Can I ask you a question about that one?
Mhm.
I'm wondering if there's any value in that. What is the reason that we have cell phones? Because I've only received calls from Laura on hers. And to be honest, when you get emails and stuff on it, it's so hard to read any of the attachments. I don't find it overly valuable.
So I think it's a waste of money. The only redeeming piece to that is if you're strictly using your cell phone, selectman cell phone for selectman business, and you're not using your own phone for selectman business, if something should get forwarded or whatever, it's only on the work phone versus your phone. That's the difference. But I think this is probably the only town I've ever heard that has selectman cell phones.
It's very hard to prove. And I need to do this, prove it,
Right, correct.
and then you still have to do this one.
That's right.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, you guys, you were here when Baker decided to do that. Was there a reason for him? Selectmen board didn't ask for it.
I mean, I know it's not much money. We're probably in a contract right now anyway,
We are, but.
but I don't know that there's a real big value to that.
The other
There
thing
isn't.
is, those numbers are posted too, so
Yes.
townspeople can call you too, which I get calls from people asking questions. So,
Is there a confidentiality issue that should be maintained with having?
No, like I said, this is the only town that I know that does that. I mean, I'm sure there's others out there, but any town that I know of, the selectmen use their own phones.
Well, then, would we be obligated to pay for the selecting phone, the personal phones?
No, but just giving them a raise.
right?
I don't know, I can understand keeping the lines clean.
Yes.
There's
But when you
value.
have multiple phones,
Yeah, I
pretty
know.
soon it
it's
just gets to be a pain.
It does.
But you know, my husband, his phone, he can have both his personal phone number and his work phone number on one device. So
Oh,
why can't that be a thing?
I didn't know that was a possibility.
Yeah, when it works well.
Look at all these things I'm learning.
What happened when it comes down?
Jeez, I'm not up in the woods anymore. Jesus. All right, education training, $300. George, I can't give you prices.
$50 per class. Keep it at that.
Supplies, this is a new line. Ginny's not here. Ginny was the one that suggested we put a supply line in there for the planning board because the planning board needs to be able to maintain their files. And right now they don't have boxes, they don't have files, any kind of anything. So Ginny suggested we put some money in there to get filing supplies so they can keep their information the way it should be kept.
Raquel, I can just say that one copy of the plans that are given to the planning board must be kept by the town and routinely revolved. So those need to be organized appropriately, and no funds have ever really been appropriated for that for the
Right.
planning board. So, she started getting those supplies this year out of the CEO budget, but it really should be.
That's why that's added in.
There's a whole section of that book just for.
Thank you. And that's it. Any questions about that section? All right, let's move on to Public Works since Matt came in case there were questions that I couldn't answer. That's tab 9. Anybody there? All right, we'll start right out with wages. So this particular page is a 3% raise for the staff, except for the mechanic at 2%. And the foreman, the pay was bumped up because right now we're not getting any bites. And the foreman really should make more money than the people working for him. So that's been bumped up.
What's the reduction of $20,000 reduction?
Well, that's a really good question, but that's the way it came out. So I don't know if it was over budgeted before.
These guys are on full time.
Yes. Yeah, all full-time employees. And they're currently without a contract. So this right now is kind of a guess. The mechanic and the foreman positions are not contracted, but the rest of them are.
When do you think the contract will be?
2 years from now. I don't know. We're in negotiations. It's gonna be a while. I'm gonna guess that it will not be completed by the time we vote on this budget. Yep. I had previously put forward a budget that would have actually saved the town probably about $30,000 off of the budget that this is, but it was not accepted. So we're back to the drawing board for the contract. Overtime wages. So that's 200 hours budgeted for each employee. Some years you use all that, some years you don't. You can't guess on the weather. This year we're over.
And that's not included for the foreman because the foreman's salary.
Well, I've included it here because if we don't do something, you're not getting the foreman.
So did you increase in the full-time as well?
Yep.
Is there a reason for Randy and Garrett, why it was calculated on their old rate?
No.
Okay. No, I just wasn't sure, maybe they.
Oh, Jesus. No, that's wrong. Thank you.
I didn't think that you said.
I pulled the wrong number to calculate that, so Randy and Garrett both. And Garrett should have been 491. Yep. Good catch. Any questions on overtime? Go ahead.
Is there any stipulation on overtime as far as the foreman? Is there any salary?
Well, I'm suggesting the foreman not be salary. Right now, we've been without a foreman for how long, Matt?
Since November.
Yes. Because the current setup, the foreman was making less than some of the employees and not getting paid overtime when he was made to plow all night. Who's gonna come in and do that? Not me. So
He's had no lights.
we had a couple applications get sent in, but nobody with any qualifications.
Did you consider possibly doing a salary with like a callback?
Like,
If he gets stuck having to plow, there's like a callback amount that they can get on top of their salary.
they do get a 3 or 4 hour call in at their regular rate.
I'm calling it a callback, you guys might call it something
Yeah.
different. So I don't know if there's some creative way to leave the position salary, and then if they do have to come in and plow, then they get an additional amount above and beyond their salary for.
Yeah, and you could do it that way, yes.
What's the phone?
What?
No,
70,000?
70?
now, it was only at 31.25.
Right.
So 31.25 to 34 is 65,000.
65,000.
Yeah, I see those photos. I put it in the sheet as well, so I took all the notes from the thing and I'll send it out after the meeting.
Yep.
So I took all the notes and then I put, we got this on Tuesday, and so I put in a column of what has currently been spent.
I suggested that it be 50 hours, and if the foreman went over the 50 hours, that went back to the as someplace.
You said it again, Matt.
I suggested that he punch a clock, but if he goes over the 50 hours mark, it goes back to the 40 and it starts collecting over.
About 50 hours he gets overpaid.
But it goes back to the 40 and starts collecting overtime from the 40
Right.
We automatically go for that.
if he goes over the 50.
So question on the overtime, the 3-year average or the 4-year average is less than $40,000.
Well, this year we're negative.
We are, but again, at some point in time, you have to do averages, and you just can't say because you have one bad year,
No.
that's what you're gonna point at. So this was the bad year. Last year, we only spent $36,000 in that line.
But you also weren't paying for the foreman to have overtime. That's what's driven that number up.
Yes. So again, I would like to see that, if you're saying that, figure out what that looks like based on the current year storms. How many hours we have in for a storm, figure out what that looks like, on an overtime basis with Matt's 50-40 overtime. So
Well, see, here's the problem. I mean,
And-
that's one theory. My theory was not have a foreman at all and just have a full-time, part-time person, and you're cutting that overtime right out. That was saving $30,000 on the budget.
Yep.
So there's all kinds of ways you can do it. It just needs to be agreed on by the board.
You have a competent crew down
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure, let them go.
Well, it doesn't mean, but
You get a
You say
road
that.
commissioner also.
you say that, but, it's off the subject, but we can say the same thing for every department. We have a company department, we have a company fire department, we have a fire chief, let him go and let them do their thing.
But the thing is, I'm the road commissioner, so they have to run everything past me. I'm not the fire chief. I'm not the police chief. I am the road commissioner. So that puts me in that. So you can do without that foreman position. And that's it was at least $30,000 savings.
Mhm.
But, okay, that's completely off topic from where we are. So part-time wages, $5,000 because you just get to call somebody in, and right now, we don't even have anybody to call, correct? If nobody wants to stay on for,
He went to Litchfield.
So again, as I look at the numbers, obviously, we're gonna be calling this year's zero. Last year, it was only $1,600 that we paid out in part-time wages, and we had a full-time crew then. So, it's numbers that we can save. If there's no current ad out there for people to apply for those jobs, is it posted? And-
there's an ad up there for a foreman. It's been posted several times.
Part-time.
Oh, well, because there's no money in the budget for it. And there's the one person we had doing part-time went to a full-time position for the wintertime. He doesn't want it in the summertime. He would come back to Sabattis if we made that a full-time, part-time position for the winter.
No benefits, just,
That's right, he doesn't even want benefits, so there's a savings.
and he's a resident.
Okay, so that's that. Education training, 1,500, it dropped down from 2,100. Again, we can't tell you what dates, what classes. I don't think, did you guys go to anything this year, Matt? No,
Bringing it away.
right. But can you explain the Road Scholar program a little bit?
It's, well, Maine Local Road Center provides trainings on flagging, on ice control, gravel road maintenance, leadership conference, traffic lights. There's a conference at Samoset on traffic lights, where they teach you how to program, do all that stuff. That's an expensive one month. It's already full. Most of these classes,
They fill it
have to-
fast.
she just sent that today about classes, and half of them are already full.
Yep.
There's all kinds of classes. And when Road Scholar is, you have to get so many credit hours. Each class you take is worth so many points. If you take a half-day class, it's like worth 3 credits or whatever. And then if you get to be a Road Scholar, then they recognize you and Scout Legion. Not many people become a Road Scholar because it takes so long and it's not easy to do. It's a lot of classes.
So 1,500s, they decreased that line a little bit because they do have a hard time getting out to go to anything. But we wanted to leave something there in case they actually had the opportunity to go. Longevity,
There's actually certain trainings that they have to have annually. Through the state.
and that rings true for most of these positions. For them, for the office, for
The whole
Virginia,
municipality, everything.
yes, yep. All right, longevity.
Could you say more about what that is actually?
I don't have the book down here, but it's once they are here so many years, they get an amount. Matt, how many years have you been here?
19, almost 20.
Okay, so he gets $2,000 a year for that, yeah. And then Randy, I think has been here 5 years.
4 years.
Okay, so he gets between that and his education, because I think he has a bachelor's, so he gets a little bit for that as well.
Experience doesn't count with longevity, it's only years of actually.
Yeah, and that's broke out in the personnel policy. All right, let me get into insurance. Claim.
I know you got, and I don't know if it's on there, I know you guys have been talking about comp time and having a bank for it. We can cash out once a year half of our comp,
Yes.
so I don't know if that needs to be in a budget line or.
So I've been thinking about I'm glad you brought that up. I've been thinking about the comp time line, and I think we probably should have an article to create an account for comp time, like a reserve account, and we could take $20,000 out of undesignated funds or something and just move it into that to hold it. Yes, sir?
Compact Public Works is 240 hours.
Yes.
Save money.
So would that only cover what they can cash in? Or is that when they use comp time, you take it out of that account and make their salary for the week?
That would be just their comp time, it would be their
Yeah,
whole
because their
salary.
full-time salary is covered,
Right,
so even if they use comp time, it should still be,
that would be just if they cashed an additional.
cash out or
But if they're working 40 hours and they took 8 hours comp time, that would just come out of the salary line.
Well, yeah, if we're trying to decide what that comp time is and the cost of that comp time,
Right.
then, and if you want to put money aside, then it should be all comp time comes out of this pot, and I realize that the rest is just, okay, we might do it, but.
Well, I mean,
Right.
if you wanted to get right down to every person, you could bank enough to cover 200 hours per employee, but I don't think you really want to do that. I mean, you could.
You only need to cover 120 hours per employee because they can only cash out half once a year.
And you take it
True
out
enough.
of the designated part of the salary, and do all that stuff.
But I do think that might be the way to handle it, is to have a reserve account set aside, because that's not been done in the past, but I think that's the cleanest, because you'd be able to see the transactions coming in and out.
now,
Yes, ma'am.
we talked at some point in time about potentially contracting out lawn mowing, so that the public works department could really focus on culverts and all that type of stuff in the summertime, plus have a little flexibility for the vacation time. Is that in any of these lines?
No.
you want the one bid that we did get? It was $70,000.
Yeah.
I didn't, what's that?
That is
You're gonna hire another
It's just
person.
for mowing,
Yep.
everything that we mow. The person that did it last time, he subcontracted it out, we had to stop because they destroyed so many heads. And that's what's being done now to fix all that. Most of the headstones that are being fixed in the cemetery is because of when it got contracted out. Not just because they were,
Your eyes crossed. Just an FYI. All right, property casualty insurance. Any questions there?
What?
Property casualty insurance. It's really a non-negotiable. We get the bill, we gotta pay it.
Did you guys already get next year's rates?
Yeah. That's what these are.
not what you had.
I'm still waiting for mine, so.
Medical testing.
Oh,
Oh, wait, where are you going?
don't pay nothing for our contract?
I think that might be separate for whatever reason. Let me see. Fuel, fleet maintenance. Hold on. Let me pull the paper out.
It's not here.
Hold on.
It's there.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
26.7.
Hold on. Right here. Let's see.
You guys don't know what to do with feet.
Public Works, property, auto, mobile equipment. They must have it under auto. Because I don't have anything on this insurance paper that says anything but fleet.
There is no auto here.
Oh,
It's a thing.
let me go back.
There's an auto listed right here for $12,742.
Yeah, that's on there. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the paper that I always look at,
Oh,
and it should be
well,
on here.
no, it's all under insurance altogether.
Yeah, but it should be on this also because,
It is under insurance.
you know, it says property contractor's law is $18,049. General
It
liability, 0.
is all added into one, because it's
But-
not broke out.
But we gotta have it broke up so we have actual expenditure, how much we're spending. Right, George? I'm working on
Turn,
this one, George.
Mark, turn to the page I have broken out. It is broken out on that page.
Telling you.
You see it?
So why isn't it broken out up here on the big page?
'Cause I don't pay attention to that page.
That's the one I pay.
Because they compressed all.
So it's not in the spreadsheet, but it is.
Yeah. It's in the
I know what
details
you're
in the
saying.
smaller pages.
Yes.
No,
The big number is in your spreadsheet under insurance.
You don't break out anything else, you know what I mean? It's all
Thank
under
you,
insurance.
Austin.
Supplies aren't
The
broken out.
1849.
I'm just saying, property is the building, fleet is the trucks. How much are we paying for our trucks? How much are we paying for the property?
He broke that down in this thing.
Thank you.
It's all insurance. That's what it has on, that's why it's on.
But the thing is, we wanted to separate everything out. So we want to separate everything out so we know actual expenditures of what we're spending.
Noted, Mr. Decat, let's move on. Medical testing, 1,500. If you could handwrite that into your lines, I'll make sure I change it in the computer, but I don't want to waste any more trees.
Well, it's the fact of when we sit down and we go over these numbers, we gotta flip through each one of these orders. You can just have it right there on the spreadsheet for us. It's up there, it could be up here, like.
And I was requested when I started to do this, to have it broke out line by line on the papers like I have it. The budget process next year is gonna be vastly different than it is this year. Retail insurance. All right, $1,500 for medical testing. Any questions, George?
Just again, it looks like we're not spending the money out of that account, so, so far this year, we've only spent $357, last year, $797, the year before, $1170, the year before, $555.
Well, I think part of that is when you have new employees come in, you have to do the physicals. That will make a difference on your number. And then you have the random drug pooling that has to be done. So that's probably what's come out so far this year. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
That's because there's testing that isn't being done that BLS is gonna whack us on. We're supposed to be having hearing testing done every year.
Like the option one.
Or the workers.
But she doesn't know that, and we told Tony, and it just, but that's something that takes a lot of.
Hearing tests. Nobody ever told me that.
And I'm surprised you guys don't do a pulmonary
Yeah.
function test because you,
We don't wear it, we do not wear
Oh my
it.
but Silica says you have to have a mask. And
Everything's supposed to be, we're not mining, so we don't have to.
But again, these are issues
I
that you
understand.
know about, but if we had a foreman whose responsibility you could say, hey, that's your, and get all that stuff done, and make sure that we're BLS compliant.
We
That's
were,
crucial.
we were way more organized when we were doing it for the 3 years ourselves, when we didn't have a foreman than when we had a foreman.
And we will be BLS compliant because I've asked them to come down and go through every department before we do get whacked for something. Because if we bring them in on our own and they give us a list, we're much better off than them walking in and finding something. So they're coming in April. So we will get hearing tests scheduled, Matt. Thank you. All right. Miscellaneous, striping and beavers. This line makes me laugh.
Do we do our own striping or do we have a contract?
It's hired to come in, yes.
There's only, we only have one person we've been able to find that Lucas striping comes and does it.
And it's 14 cents a foot.
Question on that, Matt, is that a foot double line, foot single line.
Oh my
dog
God,
line
let me
extra.
throw something at him.
I believe it's per line.
Right, so double line, twice the money. And if you add 5 lines to that road,
That's plus 2.
okay.
So that line is gonna really get burned because everything that gets hooked up will probably get, everybody's gonna be flying on Sullivan Pond. So it'll probably get at least fog lines on it or something, just so people can strip, like we did Marsh Road, that intersection did have it painted. Webster Corner Road has had lines on it before, that will get lines. We didn't do it this year as much, and that probably didn't get expended because why go paint a road if it's gonna get torn up for.
And that's something that's up to you. You do it before the end of the budget season.
We hope to.
Or some of it.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, like Lisbon, but there again, if you do it too soon, it all wears off too. It doesn't stay. It's, people need it more in the wintertime or fall when it's foggy than usually in the summertime. But I agree, yes, try and use it before the budget ends.
Any other questions for that line?
And yes, we could use somebody to trap you, just if you can't do it, you have to have a nuisance trapper come and do it. I know somebody always questions that.
What is a real thing?
You always, they know where that line's good. Back to me out, I was like, what the heck is this line? We good on that one? All right, licensing fees, $250, and that's to do with the stickering of the vehicles. Inspection stickers.
So where did it come from for the last 2 years?
They might have taken it out of a different line. In the last 2 years.
But for
It has nothing been expended in the last 2 years.
nothing. Nothing so far this year and nothing at all.
Should have, because it's just got stickers.
She might be taking it out of the wrong place, because we just got them in for the year.
They got, all the Webster game in January, so.
so whoever's signing off on those, is the correct number on there, or to take them out of the right account. It's not her.
She did it, she wrote the check, she did, came off the town credit card. It's the only way the state does it.
Yeah, something, they wouldn't have got that.
So I'm not sure what the bill is, I mean, we should get the exact number. In 2024, it was only $122. How many stickers do we need? Are there, is it just for license?
You have to get them by the sheet and then you send them back and make corrections.
Yeah.
It probably is $250 to get X amount of sheets and then to get credited back.
All right, phone, heat, electricity, water, internet.
Do we know how many phone lines we have down there?
It's too expensive. At one point, there was a fax, but I don't know if that's coming in. But at one point, there was a fax, too. I don't know. But I know there's a 1500 and a 1501, the phone upstairs and the phone downstairs. And then there's a cell phone.
Right. So it's probably just an extension, not necessarily
A different
separate
line.
lines. Same line.
I don't know how it works.
That's right, yeah. So I'm trying to,
I would say, because it's just one phone number that I've seen that goes to the garage, so I would say, like an upstairs and a downstairs phone, same number.
So I assume we combined the cell phones and the phones into one line, and we went down 150, we're okay with that. So last year, between the phone line and the cell phone line, was a total of 19. According to the expense. So Raquel, I noticed, can I just touch the next one?
No.
Go ahead, that means we're done with the other one. So moving along, Nancy.
On the heat one.
Yep.
It's 17,300, which you're asking for, which I assume we're gonna spend about that based on what I'm looking at here. We've already expended, $14,811.
It's 10,000.
Hold on.
Electricity is 7,000.
So I'm looking at heat, line
So
number two,
yes, the
17,300.
heat's changed now, your white papers haven't changed. So if you're looking, it's 17,300 when TJ
On
did,
this one?
yes, when TJ went back and pulled all the bills and everything from the previous year.
Okay,
We
so
took that total and added 15% to it because we figured it's gonna be more expensive.
No.
So it's 17,300. It's on your spread, should be on your
There should
spreadsheet.
be another set, right, it's on cost and.
No, I have those, but
Okay.
I was looking at the individual sheets.
Yeah.
Not this one.
So that's 17,300.
Okay.
So I was wondering, we're planning on wrapping the building. Do we have any idea what wrapping that building will save us for heat?
No idea, and that's only gonna happen if we have enough money left in the budget to buy the materials.
There's some other things we want to do. We want to put fans in the bar bay. If you go up on the mezzanine, it's a sauna. Heat all needs to come off the floor.
I would think wrapping it would be the first priority, then do the fans.
Yeah, but just even put a couple of fans up there would help immensely.
That is the intention.
Jerry's truck not being in the bay in our garage has saved the town a huge amount of money this year.
Well, in one aspect.
Well, he doesn't put his cannons in there and turn the heat up to try and melt them
Oh, gotcha.
all weekend long. And then drive them out of Orange Walk with them, that they freeze anyway.
All right, so anybody that's looking at the white papers, the electricity has changed to $7,431. Water is 0.
Why is water?
Because they're not charging the town garage for water, because they work together on projects, so. Right, Mark? That's the justification there?
Yes.
Okay. And internet is $1,656.
I wonder if you should get started.
Well, let me tell you a story about the internet. So we currently have Spectrum. And when we switched our cell phones to T-Mobile, T-Mobile said, oh, we do internet too. I said, all right, the fire department's been having issues with internet for a while. Let's use them as the guinea pigs and let's see what we can do. We can't switch because of the computer places we have got to stay with Spectrum. It doesn't work. They couldn't get the T-Mobile to work. And John said, stay with Spectrum for internet, so. And he's the one that handles all of our IT stuff.
Just check in on video. Because I've been looking at the phones, because our phones that we have in all the buildings, and those phones had ended support 2 years ago, they're up to date. So I had a meeting with one of our vendors of the phones, and they recommended going over to fiber, and the cost of the internet, if you live over the fiber, that is a significant cost saving. I think they're looking at five. I'm still exploring.
All over town, yeah.
And that's why I'm so exploring it. So I don't have numbers to present to either the board or the budget committee, which is why I haven't presented anything
Yeah.
about it.
But it's in the works, Nancy, we're looking at things.
Don't forget, especially, say, but, and that's coming to the year.
Consolidated communication is who we already have for the phones. So if we can have consolidated communication for phones and one internet, it would be one bill versus having two numbers for those as well. So it would be easier to have one bill.
Yeah.
That was my thought, but I'm trying to look at all sorts of different options, trying to save money.
All right, general supplies. Any questions on general supplies? No? Okay. Computer tech maintenance. And that's basically if they have a computer issue, it's $125 an hour to have somebody work on it.
How many computers are down there and are they on the list?
One, I believe, you have one, you have three? Okay.
2 desktops and a laptop.
No, theirs weren't on the list.
I think the desktop downstairs in the mechanic's office is one from the TV from, I don't know when, it's ancient indeed. You can start it up and go and run around and do things, and it's not the best. Basically, everything upstairs is the one that gets done.
So maybe they need to be on the list. You check the list, maybe they don't know they even have 3.
That could be, because then there's nothing down there was on the list.
The laptop, I assume, was for the mechanic of the trucks.
It's supposed to be used, so. We have a great, we have this computer too, but it prints everything, but it was supposed to be easy to get updated every year through Napper, and that just seems to have fallen by the wayside. Saving a little money we thought was gonna be good instead of going with a Snap-on or a Mac, and they end up costing the town more money in the long run. It doesn't seem like the Alltel, there are many that update the Alltel computer. Even though it does great things,
Yeah.
their support isn't there.
All right, copier, printer. 2,300. No questions? Keep going. Safety equipment, 3,000. Any questions?
Do you have any kind of a breakout of what's already there, and then, as you did before, when things expire? And
Oh, I think these are more, correct me if
That's vests, gloves,
yeah,
glasses, hard hats,
how much of that needs to be replaced each year? All of it?
vests every couple months.
gloves as well, yeah.
Gloves, we don't, that's, we buy packages of a dozen at
Right.
couple dozen at a time that we just wear. They're not super expensive gloves, but leather gloves aren't. Once, anybody that's ever worn leather gloves, you get them wet, working in the mud or whatever, and they just get thrown away anyway, so that why spend big money on a leather glove when you can just get I just a heavy duty rubber glove that we use. And I think they cost us $1.50 or $2 a pair. They're just a little more than a pair of latex gloves.
Plus the welding shield here, are you talking about
That's just the,
well, you're not replacing that.
you have to replace the glass in them, or if it's, could be the grinding, it could be, probably on the welding shield, but it could be the grinding shield too, which they get dirty, they get scuffed up.
Any other questions on that line? Clothing allowance. Hot top, cold patch.
Again, eliminating cleaning supplies completely, but we spent money in the past there. We're proposing to take the money that we spent.
They'll take it out of their general supply line. They said that line was meant for when you had the person here that did the cleaning.
Mhm.
They used to go up there as well. So that's when that line came into play, but since we don't have that person anymore.
Yeah, that, was it $500 too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be $500 of the department fee for Joe to come clean
Gotcha.
once a week.
All right, hot top, cold patch, 12,500.
So just a question on whether or not we're gonna need as much this year. I mean, if we're completely redoing Webster Corner Road, Sutherland Pond Road, and the big pothole.
You've got so many roads out there that,
You absolutely should have more, because we quoted to have part of Marsh Road fixed, and it was $35,000. They had the CEDO do just from the top of the hill to Hayden Drive. That's completely, we fixed it for this winter time, whether it holds up or not. You've got Evergreen, the beginning of Evergreen, from Bodenham Road to the corner. There's hardly anything left of hot top in. Back before there was somebody paying attention to exactly what was going on with subdivisions, we can only tell that there's one layer there. Doesn't even seem like there was a top layer put on it. So we spent a ton of the hot top money in there this year too, patching that.
Again,
Beaver Road.
yeah, the 25% of excise tax money is supposed to go towards roads. And then somewhere,
so the 25% has been being used to pay bonds. So that money is all used up now for
but not
bond
all of
payment.
it, if you're putting more than $250,000 a year,
Yeah, but it comes out about to about that. When you look at your revenue from your excise tax, it comes out with the bond that was already in place and the new bond that's coming out, it's gonna cover your bonds and just about it. Because you've got to stop and think that new bond is, hold on, I've got it.
With the cost that's in the move this year, you're gonna be putting a lot of holes about that.
drive down program. Talk about it.
It's not ours.
It's not
I know,
ours.
it's not, but it's like insane right now.
Maybe shocked by the time spring gets up.
I don't go there.
So the estimated excise tax is $306,396.91, because we're tracking pretty close to where we were last year. You've got the third payment to make on the excavator, which is $25,000. We've got the road bond that was in place already, that's due in 2030, no, that's the new one. The new road bond that's due in 2035, that payment's $232,000 a year. And then the Marsh Road bond, which will be done in 2030, and that's $44,000. Those figures are in your book, George. they're in section 1.
All right.
I've got it broken down. So we really don't have any play with that revenue. Now, what's happened to it in the past, I couldn't tell you.
Well, for the same thing, I mean,
Well, no, because the biggest bond payment, we just took the bond out, the 200 and something thousand, so I couldn't tell you what happened at that point. I can just speak to, since I've been here.
We had other road boardings. Jordan Bridge Road.
Jordan Bridge and Ballpark was bonded.
Okay, so that, it's
Wayland
been used to
Road.
pay loans.
The Dennis Atwood Memorial Highway.
But there should also be LARP money that should be accounted for somewhere.
What kind of money?
LARP,
Oh,
Maine Local Road Center
yeah,
money.
yeah,
yes,
yeah, that goes into a revenue account.
and it's not accounted for any expenses in order to put it, in a designated spot. It just appears.
There's a contract somebody's supposed to sign for plowing Route 9,
Mhm.
and it's $32,000 or $33,000 that the town gets.
Yep.
Should actually go towards winter wear parts or salt or, should be showing an offset somewhere. Because, I believe if you read the contract, Route 9 is supposed to be a salt priority.
Does it really matter which pocket you take it out of?
No, it doesn't, but you want to know, everybody wants to know
Right.
what an actual department is costing. That money should be shown that as a revenue for the department.
Okay, and actually, it is on the expense report.
Yeah.
So the, time plowing in 2025, so the current one, was 34,190, and the local road was $50,000.
I would just say with the conditions of our roads, I don't recommend cutting anything that's gonna go to fix our roads or help to patch them or anything. I don't think that would be wise.
Well, again, I guess I'm just want to focus that additional monies, that are coming in into that spot. So like the local road share, $50,000, to,
That's in the revenues, correct?
yes.
Yes, see, it should be in the general ledger. That way it's accessible, because you're not supposed to, you cannot spend money out of your revenues. So what really needs to happen is that money needs to be put in a general ledger account so that we can access that. So why that's set up that way, I couldn't tell you.
And I believe if you read the conditions of it, you're supposed to account for
Yes.
where you spent
Correct.
maintenance or hot topping if they come and ask.
They usually do. You usually get a letter in the mail to account for that money. Yep.
So can we, again, with town meeting coming, look at changing, taking it out of the revenues?
And moving it into the general ledger.
So that we can
I will,
vote
yeah.
to spend it or put it in the public works road paving account.
Yep.
Or road maintenance account.
Moved to GL. Yep.
I believe when it started, it was in the evening. It showed up going into the evening.
Well, you can't receive money. You mean in the expense line?
Yeah, it just showed that it would.
So you can't, the only money that's supposed to go into your expense line is the money that's raised and appropriated at town meeting. So if you get that money in and that's, we want to be able to spend it, that's why it has to go into a general ledger account. Because if you start putting it into your expense line, number one, the auditors don't like that. But it also skews your numbers of what you originally budgeted for. Okay, drainage and erosion. Yep. Any questions? Winter wear parts, $25,000. Cutting edges, belly scraper, $3,000 is set for plow trucks, loader backhoe excavator, loader backhoe excavator, loader. And you must change them out a few times a year. This allows for 8 sets. Yes, sir.
So I assume big trucks run carbide. About one season, roughly out of set on following.
Not straight carbide. The
No,
new ones that we're running, yeah, flex.
the segmented.
Segmented.
Okay.
And getting about, I got getting about 3,000 miles.
Okay.
Out of it. Randy he's getting better because he's on Rusty Corner Road, slower road.
Yep.
And he's run, I think, almost 2 years on the set. That he had on the segment. I showed Rick when he was at the shop.
I know the price on regular carbide edges have just about doubled in the last 2 weeks. Do you know what segmented is going to say?
No, actually went down.
It went down.
Our segmented that
Wow.
we got, they went from, it was 260 something down to 209 for the Nordic Flex.
Sweet. I know Allied's just about 300 per foot for straight carbide and steel now.
Yeah, it's a little less than that. Viking's really good. They're really competitive on their pricing.
That's
And they actually held off on getting any carbide. That's why there isn't a lot of money out of that line yet, because they got actually a supplier in the US instead of out of Canada, so they didn't have to pay. You didn't have to pay the tariff anyway, because that's all changed, but because of the tariff. But they've got a US supplier now.
excellent. All right.
And that new truck's gonna have to have all carbide and the whole pin, the Nordic Flex put on it. Because you can expect that.
Go ahead, George.
Are we talking about installing belly scrapers on the vehicles?
That was just, I think it was just a belly scraper blade. It's just
Yes.
saying that the blades on.
Do we have belly scrapers on?
My truck does,
Just
yeah,
one truck.
mine truck does.
I learned something on that. I never heard of that before.
And so under winter parts, it calls for winter parts for the excavator. What are we putting on for winter parts on the excavator?
We just take cutting edges instead of another line. I guess you could take it out of maintenance, but when we buy cutting edges, it comes out of that same line.
What's that? What are you looking for? I'm looking at that. I really wasn't looking at you.
Well, loaders, yeah, they go in straight ice, so
Yeah, so, but the excavator is not scraping ice.
not right now, it's not. In May, at some point in time, have to.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm just looking at the regular maintenance stuff and again, you said we were paying less money, so we're only spent $11,000 so far out of that budget. This
But we
year.
haven't bought any, we haven't been able to buy any carbides, because most everybody hasn't had any.
Gotcha.
And
Right.
Nordic and Viking hasn't had any. They didn't have any for over a month and a half.
I just heard you guys were talking that it's cheaper, so.
Well, yeah, on the ones that I run and Randy run right now, they went down. Each section went down $50.
Okay.
11 sections, though, but still sizable. They sound expensive, but you save at least a third on material when you start using them. Because they individually, they're all individually flexing in ongoing to the road.
They scrape quite a bit better, especially on the frosty roads.
Form fitting, George.
I like it.
All right, have we talked about winter wear parts enough? Okay, let's move on. What's next? Traffic, $4,000, signs, cones, barrels. And the signs are street signs or anything else that we might need, correct, Matt?
jazz street signs or road, any of the road closed signs or flagging signs or paddles, stop and go paddles, barrels, and they disappear like you wouldn't believe. I don't know how many such we bought for Doogie Drive when that was closed.
Does that include street signs too? Replacing street signs?
I believe we do.
Is that under that?
I think that's where we're taking them out of.
Yes.
So if we can we just list, traffic lights on that too?
No,
Why?
Where's it coming out of?
Utilities.
Yeah, that comes out of utilities. Electric bill.
Okay. Well, we pay a significant bill to repair the traffic lights. So I'm just wondering where we wanna focus that.
I think that should come out of the street lights.
Yep.
Take off the added to that.
All right.
you got another one, be ready for 27th.
Yeah, I know,
You have to pay for it.
Well, that's my point. It should be listed somewhere, so we know that it's coming and we can pay the bill out of someplace and just take that.
And I was told you're gonna have to start paying for the ones at Bowden, Crowley, and Route 9. When anything happens to any of those. Because the town wanted them, town has to maintain them.
Good to know.
Even though it's a state road?
You're paying for all the lights now on Route 9 and at
Yeah.
Pleasant Hill.
Yeah.
That's what George is talking
Yeah,
about.
well, Pleasant Hill goes in, 126 is a state.
It's all state road.
Those are all state.
So is this one Pleasant Hill and Route 9 and Jordan Bridge is gonna be,
Jordan will run long, I'm shutting down.
Okay. Well, just, I didn't realize that we were paying for repairs to those, and then the local, the town is actually responsible for that.
that's why the Pleasant Hill one, people have called and complained to the town because Pleasant Hill is on a timer. Instead of actually being on the census, because the census was ungodly and Eric said no.
So ADU that comes over and
All right, salt, 120,000.
And yes, that goes up to bid roof
Yeah, I just actually sent the paper in today.
from
This
the
was,
state.
yeah, this was something, we were talking, we weren't here, that,
I heard you.
okay, through AdCog,
For some reason, it's always higher
okay,
than we get from the state bid.
Right. Yeah, we go through the state.
well, I just saw that, as far as with AdCog.
And we don't do cutting edges on bidding because you don't necessarily know what you're getting. And we've done it in the past and then they don't line up with what you have in stock. You think that they'd all be the same and you go to put edges on and they'll be half an inch or quarter inch higher versus the other side. If you happen to get an old versus new.
Any questions on salt? Sand, 48,000.
Are you using next year's standard?
Next year's sand that we normally put in the state, yeah. We've burned through all of, we've got 1,000 yards, we figured it, about 1,000 yards that we can still buy with what we have left in the budget, but yeah, we just put more in today. But if you drive around the back of the pile or go down to the transfer station, there's a huge hole, even bigger as of today. The ramp's almost gone, so we dump off them.
Would you recommend adding? You get 2,500 yards, right?
I think, depending on who you get it from, this year we've got a little more because, but there again, it's a good thing, we're running it through a screen, because as John McNeely said, there's potatoes in it.
It's under lock.
The company we got it from this year was not necessarily paying attention.
You recommend that number go up? 48,000.
we need more than 2,500 yards, you think?
We've gone through 31, at least 3,100 already, guesstimated.
So that's that 3,000 yards mark.
That's a 3,000, you want for 3,000 yards?
Yeah.
But we've guesstimated we've already gone through, well, that was the other day, we've probably gone through 3,300 yards.
All right, garage welding supply, $6,000. Questions? Nothing?
Nope.
Okay. Small equipment and tools, $6,000. Chainsaws, weed whackers, any large power tools, mowers, generators, etc.
What is planned for purchases this year?
I think it's basically to replace things that break.
Because you still have most of that money there.
Again, that'll be spent toward the end of the year. Like I said, the departments hang on to things in case something major breaks.
Again, I'm with Nancy, I'd like to see the list of what they're gonna buy, because if I look back, 2025, they only spent $2,700 out of that account.
Matt, can you elaborate anything on what might be purchased with that?
Probably another backpack blower. At least one.
Oh, yeah, compactor.
We talked about buying a jumping jack,
Didn't we just buy a compactor last week?
about a bigger one, yeah. We talked about buying a jumping jack for around, because we were renting one. If we bought one last year, what we spent in rentals, we could have bought one probably for all the culverts we replaced. After we realized how much better compaction we were getting around the culverts by using jumping jack versus trying to do it by hand.
Aggregates, 41,000. Questions?
Again, we haven't been spending anywhere close to that, so with an explanation of how much, how long, how many culverts, I mean, we did a lot of culverts last year.
Tony didn't believe in doing shoulders. As you can see, there's drop-offs on Williams Road, on that new road, and the edges are breaking off. We didn't use the shoulder box hardly at all last year.
And that's what the gravel and stone will do, is fix those shoulders, correct? Yes.
Who's also fall, that's all, I guess.
Which one?
Fall. Falling off, yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where, you know, you put so much on that the plow goes by and now it's on the lawn. I mean, so it's like, you need it that high in order to protect the side, and then you plow it off and plow it on the shoulder, just to.
To give and take.
You need a flush to protect the road. The plow should be fairly level with it. You don't want to mound it up and keep the water on the road.
Right.
Right.
You want to stabilize that edge. So.
I prefer, like the first storm of the year. All this stuff that's on the side of the road is now in the ditch.
No, it's because the ground's not really frozen at that point.
Right.
Okay, are we all done with aggregates? All right. Equipment rental, 15,000.
Should run through and sweepers when there's bad rainstorms, and we seem to have been having more of them, and having to go get sweeper from Easy.
Any other questions? All right, move on. Fuel, 30,000.
What do you think, also on fuel, on the 30,000?
They're at 9,874 currently.
Last year was 24.
I just don't think it's gonna go up. Yeah.
It's gonna go up. But, and I don't know why the fiscal year 23 number was so high, it's at 35,000 for fiscal year 23. The rest of them all are at 24,000. Well, that bad.
It would have to do with the amount of storms you have. That definitely would affect that.
Storms are 23. Price of fuel might have been up.
I think we have to go right up.
I'm not sure when we did Williamsburg, we did a lot of trucking in Williamsburg.
Okay, fleet maintenance, 75,000.
So I'm curious on that one. You went from 43 a couple years ago up to 75. I understand we bought a lot of equipment in the last couple of years, but I also would think that buying some of that equipment would potentially reduce the maintenance cost because it would be newer.
You think so, but the 2016 had to go to fleet, go down to, and have all kinds of work done this past year, plus that turbo's put in it. And that's one of the newer trucks. And that's in the past year, I think it's had over $12,000 worth of work done to it. And I can tell you, new trucks don't last like the old ones. If we could have the 02 and the 07 that we have right now, and have a bunch of them, or the old Fords, yeah, you could keep it at the 40, but the new stuff, the 016 needs training lines again, and they get washed constantly. Mark will tell you, he sees it every time the hydrant gets turned on.
No, that's fine. Because my question was gonna be, I know that it is partially a very aging fleet between the L8000 and the Sterling. Are they worth replacing, or at this point, just the upkeep and?
The 2002 is a workhorse in the summertime. We have,
Good enough.
oh, well, that one doesn't get as much. We did put training in it, but that's because guys didn't know how to drive a standard.
Yeah.
If we keep guys out of it, if they don't know how to drive a standard, then it wouldn't need a transmission. Maybe.
Well, I know it's just also hard life on the trucks running sand and salt. If they're in good shape and you guys like them, go for it.
Anything else on that? Building, 30,000. And if anybody's ever been up to the town garage, you probably understand the 30,000. Just, there's some doors that need repairing. That alone is, the quote came in, how much, do you remember? It was an outrageous
That quote was
amount.
kind of outrageous from that company, but
Yeah.
there's probably $10,000 worth of garage doors that need to be, panels that need to be done, you know. But rusted. Yeah, but I think everything's got new door openings on them, but the two front doors, I think those have eyes on them now too, so that the LS won't get on us, but there's still a couple of doors with new panels put on them and new cables. So they had two doors last winter, the cables broke.
Any questions?
Some of that maintenance money went to LED lights in the same shed, so you can actually see the sand shed. Some more money can have to be spent on the sand shed, put plywood down the middle of it to strengthen the rafters and all. we did the walls a few years back, all the walls have been plywood and re-anchored. From last year, it got all, inside got all the, foundations to it. A gate, Rick wants a gate.
Yeah, I want to keep,
To Martin's point, Line, what's the difference for the 2,800 here and the 5,000 that John is asking for?
I'm not sure what he's using that money for. This has been, we've always paid the porta potties out of this.
porta potties.
Well, I think he did mention porta potties. in his
We pay
5,000.
for it.
Yeah.
Ours is $100 less a month than you get for it.
Did you guys?
So does he not like the porta potties that are there now? Or he,
Is it?
So Nancy,
No,
John's,
Bigger.
John's request was also for a sign, for 3 facilities was $3,600. A post in the middle pole, a flat piece of metal.
Yeah, the sign is in the deed that needs to be there, yeah.
That's right.
but if the porta potties is a duplicate cost, we ought to go with the cheaper one.
Mhm.
And
And just
deduct it from his,
Right.
Yeah.
And transfer, take it out of this one.
Yeah.
And put it in the.
or, well, I don't know
One
that we
of, one
can,
or the other, yeah.
yeah, I think we want to leave it here and take it out of his.
Yeah.
Because we can control it, as to who you're going with and who you're paying the price.
Well, I think we can control that, but that's fine. Either way.
Okay.
It's gonna be that much less. Whatever.
And we do get dots from the state, and they tell you when you can get them. It's not, I know that you said something about dots, they have a program, and you can only get them when they say you can get them. Yeah, we take the money if we have to replace boards, it comes out of someplace in the garage, Martin's Point line and stuff like that, when we replace the board down there on the dock. So, provide you change for the anchor system.
I just have a question, if we do like an add a porta potty expense for the summer to Buckey's since it's a public.
So don't take it out of this budget, then. We'll leave the porta potty money alone if she wants one at Lucky's Field. Because yes, we should be able to put one there if people are there using the field.
The one over there,
I think the rec probably pays for it, but if it's a town property and, you know, like for recreation activities, I think that we should probably support the cost of a porta potty there. It's the only recreation property really that the town has, I think. I don't know there's any other fields that are town owned, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that, but I do think we don't want it to sit there all winter long.
I agree.
So just the summer months.
they do get used in more than like Martin's Point.
No, yeah, well, yeah.
Surprisingly.
I think they probably do it Crowley Road too, the fire.
Yeah.
No, at Bucky's, no, they don't, but at Martin's Point, they do. Because people have asked that, why are they there? They do get used.
All right, tree removal, 25,000.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Has the ash borer made it this far? Has anyone noticed anything in the area of the ash borer? Because when it hits, it's gonna hit hard, and that line's gonna blow up.
Do what?
The emerald ash borer, it's an invasive beetle, and it's in Maine, it's hitting the Sebago area really hard. It's gonna kill every ash tree in town, and they're all that taken out.
I know that the states have stuff down at Martin's Point, with field there around, and they haven't said anything to us if they're around.
On 10 trees, I'm sure that you can The trucks are hitting on the cloud.
So my one piece of feedback on this is, because I know it's usually contracted out, there needs to be much better supervision and interaction with the vendor or contractor that we're working with, so that landowners aren't telling them what to do. Because I think, don't know, but I think we may have spent a lot of money on Sutherland Pond and Crossroad because my father told them to cut all the trees down.
Do you know how much
Rather than just trim
do
it.
you know actually how much that cost us and how much it saved the town?
No, I don't.
It cost $5,000 to take all them trees down on Crossroad and Sutherland Pond. It was gonna be more than that
That's
to trim them.
true. Okay, I can't give him a hard time.
And that was with an excavator out there to push some of them over.
Yep.
And if you'd actually seen some of them, it's probably lucky they didn't fall in the road, because there was a few of them that, so 5 trees is $1,000.
I still think it would be a good idea to have a little more involvement on our side so that we're, and maybe that did happen and I'm not aware of it, but my version of what I was told is he told them what to do and they just did it.
He said, he asked, and it saved the town a lot of money this winter and material too, because now the sun can get into the road in both sections. Garrett's mentioned it numerous times about how much less material, especially Crossroad, because it was super dark.
Do you think we should recognize them for that ceremonial thing the town?
I know it looked like,
It
it looked like a huge mess, and I'm surprised Jack and Benny actually cleaned it up as quick as they did, but.
Okay.
So to that point, sorry, Gordon, I'm trying to remember, does the town have a tree warden? And if not, maybe that's something we should look into appointing someone as a tree warden who can go out and mark trees that need to come down for the contracted company.
Well, they didn't just go do it. We marked trees, and then we were gonna take some of those down, and Benny said, well, you can take them all down, just push them in the field, knock them in the field, and I'll clean them up. And the contractor said, well, if they're just gonna go in the field, I'll take all of them and all of them for $5,000. And what it was gonna cost us just to do the trimming, overhead trimming, was gonna be more than that. We figured in 2 years of overhead trimming on them, it was gonna be more than that.
All right. Let's see. Engineering, $6,000.
Did this used to be somewhere
What
else?
about the
Yes,
fuel
that used to be
depot maintenance
professional
and repair?
fees. I couldn't hear you, I was
The
talking.
fuel depot maintenance and repair? Shouldn't that be on a separate line? With public works, you guys will take fuel repair, do you? Maintenance?
All we do is like today, on some things were flooded from runoff, but maintenance, it's some art has to do it all. I don't know what that just cost the town,
And there is a revenue account there.
and I don't think that that's even enough. That $6,500, because you just got a $4,000 bill for software, I believe, $3,000 or $4,000 bill for software.
In FY '25, we spent $5,076.
Right.
What was the software coming out of that? I don't know where the software, because I didn't even know, because I almost gasped when I saw what the software cost. And I know the computer, when we had to replace that, was $2,300.
So those are probably not consistent yearly charges.
And the probe that they were just there, and replaced 2 of them, they were there for probably 2 hours. That's probably gonna be $2,000.
The school fund use that?
Just what?
The school fund use the diesel from there?
Yes.
Do you make anything from that, or?
So I don't know if it's where that money is or not, but under administrative, the software fee account is overdrawn almost $4,000.
Well, it shouldn't have come out of there, but I can't promise you it didn't.
It almost matches up.
I'm pretty sure it was like almost $4,000 for that software. But you do have it here in the office, if we don't have it,
Oh, well, maybe she did take it out of our line then.
because it's actually for, it all comes down here so you guys can send the bills down, plus you can keep track of all the mileage of all the trucks and how much fuel they're using and everything else, if it's used, right?
Yep. And that's probably right where it went from, Nancy.
So then should it be here?
Yes, it still needs to. Yes, you still need the line for the fuel depot, so yes.
And then is that 4,000 an annual?
No, I don't believe that software changes yearly, does it?
It's a yearly fee. I don't, it's a fee I don't know if it's every year or every couple of years or whatever.
So it's probably always just hit the administrative budget then.
It was the first time I'd seen it when it came up to the quote.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Randy sent it back down, I believe, I don't know.
What will you use in the community?
So can we just get the cost of a,
That's
Oh,
all,
yeah,
that's
software.
all. part of that
Yeah.
meter. Yeah, they were in there doing whatever with that and the probe, that's what the probe went to that number. Yeah, because it was showing no fuel on the diesel tank last week when she was on vacation.
All right. Any questions? No. All right, it's 7:46, and we really don't have time to dive into the police part. I am meeting with the new chief on Monday to go over this budget again. So I may have a few different numbers, but what we'll do is videotape the presentation and get it to everybody so that you can watch the videotape, so that we can continue moving on with everything else. And then if you have questions, you can just get the questions to Stephanie. If you're on the budget committee, selectmen can just get me the questions and we'll answer all the questions and make sure the questions and the answers go to everybody, so that you have that for your meetings. So if I'm meeting with them Monday, hopefully by Tuesday, that video will be ready and gone out to you guys.
If you're meeting him with him on Monday, can you just, on the full-time wages?
Yep.
I come up with a whole lot less money than you have in there.
Okay.
So if you can get a person by person, officer 1 through 5.
Yep.
Um,
I can do that.
we'll get, a list of the stipends individually.
Actually, do you just want to say a copy of the curve from last year updated?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty much what I did.
It's a great job.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I did, but I want to go over it with the new chief to make sure it's kosher with him.
So I just want to verify to that,
Where are you? Are you in the police budget now?
yeah, legal.
Yes.
Again, it was,
That's separate
it
from
was,
ours.
yeah, and it was double dipping, or at least in the verbiage. For education training, 625-060205
Mhm.
has Girgo safety listed for $3,800. And in 6/12/41 is also $3,800 there for Girgo safety.
Okay, hold on, 6/12/41.
Are we doing anything more with the spreadsheet?
No. Well, look at that, George. All right.
And so just so you guys know, I forwarded the most recent version of the spreadsheet. I have all the notes and the signs, and I took yesterday's, 2 days ago, expense report and tried putting in some of the cost centers that we were talking about. It's not in all of them, because I haven't got to all of them yet, but it's version 5 is the most current one.
George, if you come up with anything else over the weekend, Get me your questions, anybody, if you come up with, if you look at the police budget, you have questions, get them to me by Monday, and I should be able to get answers for you.
So ammunition's another one, where we haven't spent any money the last couple of years on ammo, so
Okay.
that seems weird, but we usually have it stocked. Well, if they're doing, if they're doing
Training.
training, then we should be spending the money.
Well, it might be like Bonnie Fife with one bullet.
What, they run down, get it, clean it, put it
That's
back.
right.
Also, we just don't know, did they already buy a bulk amount that they have left over? Yeah, we're trying to hold it very much.
So is this,
Again, you want me to end
Yep, go ahead.
so is this complete now with all the exact numbers, the correct numbers? Last
Up
day?
to date,
Okay.
yes, yes.
All right.
But the police one might change, but everything else should be, every other department should be correct.
Do we know where the school is as far as budget? 30%? 3%.
3 to 4. They're still working on their budget currently as well.
Okay, guys.
Thank
Thank you for tonight.
And Raquel, what about the county tax?
We haven't got the bill yet. I just asked Holly about that yesterday.
Okay.
We don't know yet.
We don't